welcome to another show. I'm doing these at varying times. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification because I've realized if you don't hit the bell notification, you don't get this live, and you don't know when this goes live. And you actually get it a day later, even if you're a subscriber, which I think was very interesting. But I do this live so that you guys get the information now in the moment, because this is when it counts. Like, if you're seeing this 6 weeks from now, I hate when I get like a altcoins daily, about Polkadot, from a year ago, and it makes 0 sense. And so I did this live over this weekend. We had a very interesting confluence. We had obviously a new trend just rip through NFT land in the form of Wolf Game. And I was watching people doing live streams of this, and it was kind of a cool trend to observe. But it really, I think, exposed a lot of other projects to sort of a bit of a meandering sort of feel. And again, no FUD on any of these that I'm going over today, but just wanted to kind of show how some projects are really ready for that next step, and whether that's metaverse, whether that's gaming, whether that's fashion, what have you. I think most kind of know, and the ones that don't sort of stand out. And unfortunately, in their floor, it sort of stands out. And so, just before the weekend, I caught on to which one do we? CryptoonGoonz, and ouch! Look at that, that poor floor price, but massive volume. Just instant volume. And I think what was great was, it was the kind of non-paid influencer advertising that really captures the attention. You can kind of see what happened over the weekend. Here is when we kind of talked about it, and it's just started mooning. And then this is the issue here, right? It's the issue of volume not being high enough to meet really a supply that is a bit too much. You got a lot of flippers in here. And I talk about this. A lot of people kind of, the paper hands, and kind of poo-poo these people that are in these projects. But look, you have 1569 existing sales, out of a collection of, roughly 7,000, 69 probably. And that's a lot of supply. I think typically in the range of projects that are mooning, maybe we'll take a look at some other ones. You'll kind of see, the supply being a bit low, in the 500-600s. That's where sort of Honey Bears was. Bears Deluxe, sorry. I think Honey Bears now. That's just because of the association with honey. If you don't know the project, go check it out. Some of my earlier videos. But why is it that you have that supply? People have nothing to look forward to, in a sense, with projects that don't have not just a firm understanding of roadmaps, but like I think understanding their newfound success. I think CryptoonGoonz, great bunch of dudes who got behind this artist Sean, who does really fantastic work. These are super sweet, genuine, authentic, all these great things. Watching the AMAs or listening to the AMAs and watching some of their videos. But essentially, what I did get a sense is they don't quite understand what they've done. They have this huge success in sort of like catching on. They were going through a week-long minting process. It wasn't selling out very quickly. So I kind of was like, as I mentioned in the last video, I was just kind of like, yeah, they're pretty good, pretty solid. And I'm just like, well, it's just the wrong time for this. And so, luckily there was a dip in the market. And then so there's more interest in NFTs. And so therefore, more organic influencer led response to the project, sort of really took hold of the marketplace. And so that's where we sort of saw it, taking off. And I was just like, I see how different this is. And again, that's the old video. And I kind of explained the rationale of, where I went with it. And I went high. I went with sort of a high rarity one at a good value. And I went on the floor, and so my high rarity value sold very quickly. And I think that's a strategy that we have to understand. When people poo-poo paper hands, they're also poo-pooing a large strategy within this space, which is to buy a few and to sell some so that you can hodl the rest. That is a huge strategy in this space. And people are, the paper hands are selling. We need to sell so that we can afford to stay in the game, because I don't know, like I don't have a CryptoPunk that I can just liquidate. And so in terms of the hustle and the hard work that it comes with being in this space is, understanding the aesthetics, liking the aesthetics, and having an understanding for, the marketplace to some degree, getting things sort of paid for so that you can grow with the project. And so, don't poo-poo paper hands don't poo-poo on the paper hands because those are the holders. They're just holding, a smaller section of that if they believe in the project, but you got to give them something to believe in. And I think that's why I wanted to quickly talk about Noundles. Was another one that I got into, I just kind of caught wind of, and I was like, oh, these are fun because, I'm a big fan of nouns, and obviously, you see sort of my other purchases of the artists of the nouns, on art blocks, and so I feel like, I was just like, oh, this is very cute and very nice. But then it was just like Wolf Game. And it was just like Wolf Game Associations. Does anybody else have a project like this? And I think there's, quite a few in the pipeline that have sort of, NFT gaming. I know several creators myself who are in this space. We're getting their project going. It's not quite there yet. But man, all of a sudden it hit with Wolf Game. Everyone's like, who's next? And like, well, there's a vampire game that's just about to open their Discord. And yeah, but what's here and now, and so Noundles, very smartly, was like, hey, yeah, here's how our game theory works, and this is what's going to happen. So we minted the original Noundles in the Genesis collection, earn 4 rainbows a day, no gas, and then they're going to have a thing instead of wolf and sheep. It seems like you need a good guy and a bad guy in sort of this gaming scenario, this early gaming scenario of replicating, what really worked there. So you have Noundles and evil Noundles, which I think I may have just missed the drop on. And then somehow Noundle companions, pet companions for Noundles, each earning, and in the game of, stealing rainbows from each other, rainbows being the token. So, in this game you have, these, it seems nice and very simple. You have jail, you have a 3-hour period where the earnings are split from stolen rainbows and cannot steal newly minted. Listing will risk 35% of unclaimed rainbows from the specific Noundle companion, evil Noundle. So they're just setting boundaries as to, okay, if you unstake, then you have some penalty. And so what's great is they're incentivizing people to stake, whether that's gamification, whether that's the future. There's something in the roadmap that you want to hold this project for, and you're going to be rewarded, whether that's a token, whether that's a drop of some sort that you're really interested in. And I'm sorry, I'm just like thinking of how much emphasis CryptoonGoonz put on merch. And I was just like, they're so talented, and I just hate. I was in a long conversation on the Discord about where the focus could be to generate value for token holders. I was like, merch is fun. Merch is something I think that's more in the creator's head of being a really fun, cool idea. Man, I'd love to see everybody wearing my fucking t-shirts. That's gonna be dope. Pardon my French, but it's just like it's such a up your own sort of kind of mentality where it's just like, I'm like, guys, that's great. Think about us. Think about the people who have invested, who've given you $2 million of our hard-earned ETH, to go make this project because we believe in the art. We like the people involved. We want to see this succeed, but you have to understand that this is not about, these, I don't know. I think merch is a very tricky thing, and it's a weird trap creatively because you get into it and it's just like, oh yeah, we delivered all this great. Look at this sweatshirt that you can buy for $150. This t-shirt was only $50, but it's got your NFT on it. Yeah, cool, man. Thanks for making me overpay. But oh yeah, your funds are going to go into the DAO. Well, what's the DAO for? So, having those conversations, as I was having those conversations, it was funny. I kept getting offers as I'm having these conversations on my other projects here, like Noundles and Feudalz, my other holdings here, because they have clearly set the roadmap of what they want to do, and it's compelling. And so, as creators, I always want to make sure that we understand we're servicing an audience. And I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say ego involved, but there certainly is a lot of self-gratification in selling out a collection, and that's so fantastic. I think, again, it's a huge, huge achievement. And I was on that AMA and saw the emotion, that came out of the crew and the artists from CryptoonGoonz. But I was like, okay, guys, every time I talk to, a creator about this space, they come to me asking me, for advice. And I'm like, okay, well, are you ready for the next couple of years of your life sitting in front of a Discord, being, connected, or having somebody from your team doing it while you work on the art, or, this is a commitment that is far beyond the payday. And I think it's sort of startling to see, kind of reckon it to, if you're watching like a baseball game or something, you're like, maybe it's, the playoffs, and like, somebody wins a really hard fought game one, they're just like so emotional and like, I did it, I want to thank everybody. And you're like, yeah, that was game one. We want you to go to the World Series. We're fans, but you're getting really sort of, caught up in winning game one, of this series that is a long road to the World Series. And it just sort of raised red flags for me, and so that's why I actually went into the Discord, and I was really straight up with that group, and I think they had great answers. They're searching to find what it is that they want to do with the project, but I think it is a great project. And so this is no FUD. This is just how it is for those with instant success, very quick success. I don't want to say it's instant because they worked really hard, but look at that! It just got super dark. The instant success of battery is running out on me because I'm working so hard late into the night, and a crew member didn't fill up my battery, and so having this this project come out, and right alongside of it, it was just like Noundles and Feudalz were hitting at the same time when a large trend was hitting, and they just happened to be ready for that trend. I think that some other ones were pivoting very smartly. I think like I can't remember the vampire one. Put it in the comments below if you know the vampire gaming one that's coming up. But it has, they were just like, based upon, what was working here for Wolf Game, we actually have something that's quite similar. Now, not everybody's going to have the gaming. That's fine. But you have to know what you want out of this roadmap and how you're delivering it to service this function, this function of raising value. How are you going to make me rich? Honestly, like financially, how are you going to make me rich? Enriching my experience with gaming? How are you going to enrich, my appreciation for art? What are these things that you're going to be doing? And so I just thought it was dope that Noundles was like, yep, here we are. And also Feudalz, same way. Feudalz is like, yeah, here's our, this is what you do. You will stake, and you'll be granted gold. Token distribution is only for holders of Feudalz, but they have a Uniswap. Wow. Pretty awesome. Very expensive, but very awesome. Humans will produce gold depending on the rarity. Ratio of production of gold is different between men and women. Women should produce more gold. Men have higher defense against orc raids, and so they're setting their world, but they're ready for it. This is right after minting, and I mean, look, they're at 0.42 already, so I think I've doubled that. It's going down just a touch. But this is the thing. It's like, I'm not here to sit here and ride prices. I want to invest in projects that I think are solid, and these are the things that let me know that they're solid, that they're thinking about value, they're thinking about utility for us, for the ones that are the collectors, that are the holders, that are so prized. I'm like, well, half of us are kind of paper handing things to some degree to pay for the holding, because that's the hustle here. So thanks for listening to this little bit of a rant on the hustle. And Feudalz, Noundles, taking advantage of that gaming trend and doing really well by it. But I think we have to expect more from these NFTs. I mean, I love good art, but and it's going to get that bump that you saw with CryptoonGoonz, but there has to be something else, and that comes down to the team's ability to look at and assess. Like even though it was sort of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, now we just did 1,000 ETH, within 24 hours of volume. Great. Well, how do we service that? Now we have a lot of money. How do we service that? How do we give back to that community in a way that's meaningful, that's not about you and you putting, you know, your art on people's backs. Again, I no FUD here, but just want to try and open up conversations and dialogues as to how to deliver, especially from us as a creative, from a creative standpoint, on how to deliver for audiences in the best way possible to take care of them, take care of their investment, man. This is a lot of money for people. I mean, all the time you keep seeing in the Discords these stories of people who are, you know, they see videos like this. Please do not put your rent money up for after any video that I do or at all. This is not financial advice whatsoever. But you see it from time to time, and it's gut wrenching because we know the marketplace that we're in right now is not the time to be doing that with either sort of the coin marketplace or here in NFT land, metaverse land. But it is still a time to find really great value in things that you believe in. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Again, you don't get this when I do this live until a day later if you don't hit that bell notification and aren't a subscriber. And also put down in the comment section if I'm overlooking any gaming NFTs that you're into. Thanks, guys.